reason that On3 made Nico the #1 overall player in America today. You know,
that was what I was going to say too.
You know, Taven Jackson just went through bowl practices with Joe Milton and Nico, watching Nico throw the ball every day, watching him get reps. You know, we talked about it. There's video footage of Nico running with the twos during bowl practice, which means they had him ahead of Taven Jackson. How good does that kid have to be that he can walk in off the street and practice 3 or 4 against a former 4-star who had the entire offseason and year with the team and take reps from him? You know,
that says a lot.
I don't know if Nico got ranked #1 because Arch Manning lost his student ID twice in the first month he was at Texas. Which that might have had something to do with it.
You need to go on Twitter and search for that because it's pretty comical.
Yeah. I'm not joking. He lost his student ID twice in the first month he was on campus. So, you know, maybe they're looking at that and going, hey, this kid's not going to do too well in the Wonderlic. But, you know, for them to rank Nico above him in the final ranking means that people are seeing things.
So it's interesting, you know, at the same, I'm sure it was by design, obviously, but today, Chad Simmons, who is a national recruiting director for On3 Sports, he wrote an article that was released early this afternoon, like right after lunchtime, I think. And it has some really interesting comments by Coach Heupel in it about Nico and what he's seen from Nico, what he saw in the recruitment process, and then what he has seen since then, since he got on campus. And so I'm going to put a link to this article in the comments right now. And that way you all can see this too, if you haven't seen it yet. It is very interesting to see his comments, and man, he's raving about him. Like even after he got on campus, he said, you know, his arm just, it pops. That's what he's saying. You know, it stands out to you. His athleticism, it pops. What was really interesting was his comments about watching Nico play volleyball and his athleticism and his quick twitch ability playing volleyball. That was something that impressed them so much. And so I really want to see the video footage of when they were at the Orange Bowl playing beach volleyball, seeing Nico like just destroy people with the ball. But that it's not a fluke that Nico arrived and a really, really good quarterback transferred. Now, obviously, we wish nothing but the best and nothing but success for Taven because, I mean, the kid's, he's legit. I mean, it was enjoyable to watch him play.
You're going to hear his name. He's going into a fantastic situation.
Absolutely.
Indiana just hired Walt Bell. Walt Bell's had a long career in Mike Norvell's system. He's got an air raid background. So, you know, Taven Jackson's going to get to go into an offense where they're going to throw it all over the yard, and he's going to have the opportunity to come in and win the job right away. So it's a great opportunity for him.
Absolutely. So we wish nothing but the best for him. But I do think that it speaks volumes that he transferred. Like, I mean, common sense would dictate that if he felt like he was going to beat out if he was going to beat out Nico for the #2 spot, he would have stayed.
Yeah.
Because then he knows he's taking over after next year when Joe leaves. And so I think this speaks volumes about Nico, and I'm about to say his last name for the first time in Volbro's podcast history, and I'm going to get it correct. I've practiced. I messed up.
Nope.
Iamaleava. There we go.
Nope.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it's not.
Iamaleava.
Iamaleava. You've got the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Iamaleava.
And so, you know, clearly Taven, he recognized, man, this kid's really good. And he felt like he wasn't going to beat him out. And so he went to it. I mean, I'm not Taven Jackson, so I'm assuming this, but it would seem as though that would be a correct assumption and a correct analysis of the situation.
And, you know, you could kind of see it coming. You know, there were pictures taken at the Orange Bowl of the quarterback room with all the walk-ons, all the quarterback coaches. Taven's not in the picture. You know, that they kind of all knew this was coming. It's going to be fascinating, you know, because Tennessee's recruiting one of the top quarterbacks in the 25 class nationally. You know, it's almost like back in the 90s when Tennessee was just stockpiling quarterbacks. You want to try and get 2 years separation between each of them. So, you know, Nico can run the job this year. And Zach asked, do we think we'll see Nico any this year? I think you might see some small packages here and there because he is just such a freak athlete.
Well, he gets 4 games and still keeps a red shirt. So you get 4 games. You can make an appearance in 4 games.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably see some, you know, some little tiny specific packages for him here and there. But you got to remember, Joe Milton is really, really good.
Yeah.
You know, you don't necessarily want to take that guy off the field. So, you know, I think we'll see little packages here and there, nothing significant. I don't think they'll redshirt Nico because they only have so long with him. When his NFL window opens, that dude's gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think Joe plays this year. He leaves. Nico's the starter for the next 2. Whoever that 25 kid is that they sign red shirts and gets 2 years in between him and Nico, then he's the man. And they start the sequence of signing a guy every year, red shirting him, putting 2 years in between, and just stockpiling big time quarterback after big time quarterback.
Well, and I mean, people say, well, is there any data to back up that you can, you know, make a landslide in recruiting or, you know, draft board projections and stuff like that in just 1 or 2 years? Yes, his name is Hendon Hooker. That is the thing. You know, Hendon, he had not even 2 full years as a starter, and he was in the running for the Heisman. You know, so I mean, it only takes 1 year, quite honestly. My goodness, Joe Milton is already making waves after 1 game.
Yeah,
as the
NFL guys are already talking about him.
Yeah, there was a video that came out this afternoon. You're probably thinking the same thing I am, of Derrick Henry talking about Joe Milton. He was on the podcast of Bussin' with the Boys, and now obviously we can't. We're not condoning all of the things that happen on that podcast. Yeah, but there's a very interesting interview with Derrick Henry, and he straight up he was asking them and the producers on the show. He's like, the new quarterback for Tennessee, he was like, he played with Orange Bowl. He's nice like that. And he said, is he coming back next year? And they were like, yeah, he's coming back. And he goes, oh, he's nice like that. I mean, he goes, that dude's big. Like, and then he was talking about how he goes, it's like he just barely throws it and it just woo. And that's what he said. It just goes. And so, he's right.
It's hard to hear, but if you watch it back, Taylor Lewan is, you know, one of the co-hosts, plays tackle for the Titans. Former Michigan guy. At one point during that interview, he says he needs to come back to Michigan.
Oh, interesting.
So Michigan alum with J.J. McCarthy returning is sitting there saying, no, we need that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did see that video, but that's actually not what I was referring to. There's been a lot of NFL draft scouts already talking about Joe for next year. You know, off 1 game. You know, They just watched him prove that he could throw a touch, and they're like, we always knew the cannon was there. We just needed to see him pick things apart short and show us he can do that.
Absolutely. I mean, the video that came out just this week of him on 1 knee throwing the ball 60 yards in the air. I mean, what in the world? You know, that is not normal.
People don't understand. There are Division I quarterbacks right now that can't throw the ball 60 yards in the air off 2 feet with a crow hop.
Yeah.
And he was doing it off a knee.
Yeah.
Like,
it was interesting. Joey Halsey was in a press conference I can't remember if it was right before or right after the Orange Bowl. And he was talking about how when we're running plays, you cannot stop running the play because, yeah, you may not be open at 20 or 30 yards, but you could be open at 60. And talking about how Joe, like, that's still in his range. Like, he'll get it to
Mhm.
you, I mean, that's incredible.
Let's be honest. We're saying we're in Hail Mary range at the 20.
Yeah.
Like,
The
he can throw the ball
20.
80 yards in the air.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. So, of course, a pro scout is going to be drooling over this guy. He's 6'5", 245, and can throw the ball literally the length of the field. So, no wonder they're drooling over him. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Zachary said about my attempt at Nico's last name. He said, "Nice try, though. I'll just stick with Nico." Yeah, I agree. Iamaleava. That's pretty close. I mean, people would know who I'm talking about. People would know who I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, they would know.